this is like fun with other, running friends. So I'm like, I'm going to do it because I knew it would put me in a good mood.
You are my BRF.
What's happening, Eric?
There for your victory lap.
Yeah.
Oh!
I just, how did that happen?
How did you do that?
And all of a sudden I go to zip it up and I'm like, why is the zipper in the front right now? 0 out of 10 on the recommendation scale.
I am literally crying from laughter and from so much like love. Oh my God.
It's like icing off for your cornhole.
And he just smashed Arnie like that and said, you stay out of this, Arnie. And I thought,
But I don't run to stay sober. I get to run because I am.
And there she was, a halo over her head.
No, it's not very true. Okay.
And he steps to the side and just gestures. Here's the tinkle pot. I don't need to tinkle.
What's up, everybody? And welcome to episode 168 of the On the Runs podcast. It's prom season and the weather is heating up. We're both taking some time off for some trips, work, and or pleasure. And we won't be taking any boats under the Brooklyn Bridge. But before we do take off, I must say hello to my kick-ass rock star of a co-host, 6-star Erika. What's up?
It doesn't get any better than that. Like, it makes me smile every time we talk. But, dude,
every time
warm
we
weather,
hit record,
hell
you
yes.
smile. When we're talking and I'm really just going through notes and stuff, you're like,
Well, honestly, like, I look at you and I see you doing your "What's up, everybody?" and you have to like go away from the microphone. And
I've learned to step away from the microphone when I do that.
One of these days, I'm gonna time you, and you should just see how long you can hold that note.
What's up, everybody? I could do it. No,
35 seconds later.
maybe we'll do it on like a
Still going.
Patreon only thing or outro
Sure.
blooper thing or something.
Sure.
People like
That'd be
I don't
great.
want a first time listener to be like, we're still going
Can
here.
you imagine? Be like, what the hell is wrong with these people?
Is my Spotify okay? Like, what happened to the CD? Here's the
Did
track.
it freeze?
The
Like,
track stuck. How long could I
That's great.
hold the exact like everybody?
I'll just keep quiet so somebody will think it actually like froze or like it's just skipping, repeating.
You remember? Did you had? I had a Walkman, but I also had a Discman, like the yellow ones, and they became silver.
Oh yeah,
You remember?
I had
they
that.
had like some 10-second and 20-second DSP feature or something where, and then you'd spend more money to get the 30 or the 60-second. It would read the track 30, 60 seconds ahead. So if you hit a bump or something, it wouldn't skip. You remember those?
Smart. Yep.
Yeah.
I had like one of the good ones. Hey, look at my buddy who's joining me
Yeah.
tonight.
We have a
I got
we have
Scooter,
a podcast
Scooter
host,
on the mic.
Scooter. How
like
is
rubbing all up
Scooter
against
feeling?
He is doing so much better. He is back to his normal self. He has tried several times tonight already to get his pooter on camera once again, but I'm trying to
He likes
to
that.
keep it
He's like,
PG.
this is X-rated stuff.
trying to keep it PG. But yeah, he's back to normal. He's his cute, adorable, handsome self.
So speaking of, getting his pooter on the screen or X-rated stuff like OnlyFeet,
Here we go.
I made a mistake, but not. Apparently, it wasn't a big enough mistake. But I started sending memes and reels one day about like. Well, I remember it was an OnlyFeet one.
Oh, okay.
To the wrong group chat.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
See, that's a running joke in our group chat, which is funny because I was like, I totally, absolutely
Look
would.
at Scooter trying to show the pooter.
Get your asshole out of here. That was a two-hander. I was like, nah, nobody's seeing this. But like that's the dream. Like sell the feet pics, get the race entry money. Like second job, forget that. Sell my feet
I sent
pics.
this, OnlyFeet meme to this what I thought was our group chat. And then I sent another one
Who was
about
it?
like if people were to see our chats and everything, just all this funny stuff. And someone
Wait,
keeps
who'd you
laughing and
who'd you send it to?
responding. And I'm like, thought all you did was someone changed the icon in their photo. And then I realized
Who was it?
it was Hillary running up that Hillary.
Okay. I have to say, if you were going to send it to any random person, she's probably the perfect one to send it to because she seems like she has the same sense of humor as us. So, okay. Crisis averted. Could have been much worse.
So Allie G's in that group chat with Hillary. And so I
that's
see
fine.
Allie G's name or her little photo icon, and I'm just like, boom, there's our group chat. Our group chat on Instagram has disappeared. I have to search for it now, like type in the name of our group chat.
Weird.
Yes.
Well, good thing you named it something cool.
I did. I renamed it because you guys were like, this name's boring, because I would always name things OTR and then who the other people are in the group chat. They're like, this is so boring. We need a better name. My name's
You
pretty
delivered.
lame, though, I think. Epic group chat. Like, that's just, we could
It's
do
better than alternatives. Well, we'll brainstorm. We'll
only
noodle on
feet.
it for a little bit. Don't do that.
Oh, come on. You're no fun.
What if our phones do get hacked? Oh my God. They'll be like, all right, they definitely have an OnlyFeed account.
How do they make all this
Leak
money?
the pictures.
How are they going on these trips to Myrtle Beach or camping? Where are they making this money? Selling feet pics, everybody. Selling feet pics. Yep. We take a share. Erica's the
$50 a foot.
Erica's the talent. I'm the photographer. We take a split. You know, Erica gets actually 60. I get 40.
Well, you get a bigger cut of the podcast stuff, so it's only fair that I get a bigger cut of the feet content.
There's no cut. There's no cut. But we're making our way there because we actually have a partner, a sponsor in this episode.
Woo!
The Tros is brought to you by. I wish I had a drum roll feature. I don't. My Race Tats. My Race Tats.
I'm sure Don's like, yay, I sponsored an episode that's talking about like selling feet pictures. We love you, Don. You're awesome.
Hey,
thank you for everything you do.
You could put some My Race Tats on some feet pics if you really wanted to.
You know, that is an option.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You could get some creative sayings there. You know, like forward is a pace.
Up what you're putting down.
Put it on your foot and you're walking. You're like, oh, forward's a pace.
God. Yes, I could do that.
No, thank you to Dawn so if for those who don't remember, because we talked about it in the last episode, if you missed it, we didn't talk about it early. Dawn has sponsored the podcast from now until the New York City Marathon. And
how many days?
He's made how many days?
160 something now?
Yeah, let's go with that. I wasn't prepared. Because we're all getting ready for our own trips, and we'll talk about that soon. Dawn has made a very generous donation towards our New York City fundraising. He is also supplying My Race Tats for our big raffle night on August 2nd.
Amazing.
And then if you check the show notes, I can't speak. And then if you check the show notes, there is a link. And in that link, you click it, you go buy some My Race Tats. 15% of all your sales, everything you buy, goes towards the New York City fundraising that we're raising money for Team Force. And I'm wicked excited.
Amazing.
Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, My Race Tats. And stick around for the outro because we have another company who has stepped up to the plate and has matched Dawn's offer.
Ooh.
It is not in ink yet, but they have agreed to terms. We don't have the link yet, but we'll talk about it in the outro. I'm wicked excited. These brands are stepping up. And we have a third brand we'll talk about next week that is donating a bunch of stuff for the raffle night on August 2nd.
Amazing.
At the Backyard Brewery in Londonderry, New Hampshire. I'll be there. The Mathletes will be there. Erica will not be there, but I hope Pterodactyl, Lindsay are, and maybe I'll even bring Adeline.
There you go. Well, hey, if you guys do figure out that virtual, like if I can chip in somehow for raffle tickets
Win
or
some
something,
money.
I will absolutely do that. Or even the money thing.
Maybe we'll
Who
just do
doesn't
a
like
money
winning
thing.
money?
A money thing for the
Let's
people
go.
who can't make it. We'll do something like that.
Mm.
But
We can chat about all this, the fundraising stuff in the back half of the episode, but let's get into our guest because this coming weekend, Memorial Day weekend, there's a big Millennium race that's going to be featuring our guest on today's podcast.
absolutely. This is super cool. We actually planned this episode to drop this week before the race because he is the Millennium Running DJ. His name is Darren Roy, and he jokes that he's the only employee of Millennium Running who's not a runner, but things might change. And this was super
He's
cool.
working on it. Yeah, Darren.
Yeah, because we got some really awesome behind the scenes info and like goodies about what it's like working as the DJ at a race. And this guy is bigger than I thought originally. I thought he just went and, plugged in the iPod to the aux cord and hit play. No, this guy is passionate about what he does, and it was freaking amazing talking to Darren. I'm so happy he reached out, and I think it's really cool because a lot of our listeners are here local, and they run Millennium races. And now you're going to get to hear from the guy who's playing all the tunes.
And it's no easy feat to be a DJ and keep everyone engaged. So we appreciate you, Darren, for everything you do. Thank you for putting on a good show. And just everybody's going to enjoy listening to the behind the scenes.
That's right, guys. So enjoy Darren Roy on the On the Runs podcast, and we'll see you on the other side. Our next guest on the pod for the last 11 years has built a stellar reputation all across New England, DJing from small events to private events, ranging from 50 to 7,000 people. Events like high school dances, weddings, road races, proms, and more. Many New Hampshire runners have heard his beats as you total line for all the Millennium Running races. As he is their DJ, we are wicked excited to have DJ Darren Roy on the On the Runs podcast. What's up, dude?
Heck yeah! I wish I had that intro every time I walked into somewhere or something, or like when I walk into my house, like I don't get that kind of intro.
Which take? Because there was like 4 of them.
I'll take all of them, no problem.
Eric, give him the button. Give him the button.
Oh, love that.
I forget to do that sometimes. Wow, I struggled through that.
I love that one.
I struggled because I didn't even read half the words I wrote. I just I write these things and then I make it up as I go.
Yeah.
I talk too fast for my eyes to actually read what I wrote. If I just slowed it down, when our next guest on the pod, many of you local New Hampshire runners have heard his beats as you toe the line.
Sounds so much better. God.
He's trying to bring the energy, but hey, something fell to the wayside. But Darren, welcome to our shit show. You see how it really is behind the scenes.
It is a pleasure. This is great. Thank you so much. Seriously. I've watched a couple of your episodes and really happy to be on.
So let me ask you a question then, actually, because you reached out a while ago, probably earlier in the year, and we scheduled you around now because there's a big Millennium race coming up, and we're going to talk about that later. But we're talking at least 3 months ago, we scheduled you. Did you know back then that you were going to be on vacation, on location when we had this recording? Because you're like, oh, crap, no. I have this and I'm on vacation. Where are you?
So I'm in San Barton, New Hampshire at Steel Hill Resort. So,
I've been there.
Yeah, well, so for me, I work on weekends, so my vacations is during the week. So, that's kind of how it rolls. So
now, is this your first time there at Steel Hill?
I've actually DJed there a couple of times, but this is my first time staying.
Okay.
And, hanging out. So yeah.
I did one of those a long time ago in the middle of the winter, and it was -12 the whole time.
Ooh.
And they tried to sell me on something. I go, dude, I'm not buying. No, I'm not.
Are you talking timeshare? Is that what they wanted from you?
Yeah, it's one of those. I think it's the same place.
Yeah.
I feel like I've stayed before. It sounds really familiar, but
it has a beautiful view of Lake Winnipesaukee, right? Or one of the lakes in the Lakes region.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah, I'm looking at it right to my right, and it's gorgeous.
Erika, this place is nice. If I had the funds, sure, absolutely.
You would have done it, but not when it's -12 out and you're like, not today.
But also at the time, it was it's super cheap to go and spend a couple nights there at a really nice room and everything. Yeah. You just got to sit through a 90-minute thing and get a tour room. And I'm just like, hey, it's really cool. But you're talking to a guy who just had a kid and just bought a house and has a mortgage and everything else. And, maybe when Monday Night Media blows up, we'll just tour the world. I don't know if I'm a timeshare guy. I don't know. But I'm happy for you, man. So what's the game plan? Are you enjoying the outdoors? Are you going on hikes and stuff? Because you are not a runner. You're the only Millennium Running employee who is not a runner.
Yeah, so it was so funny to when I started hanging out with the Millennium guys at first, I kind of had to talk about my own stuff because they were all talking about running, and they're like, yeah, I just did a run. And I'm like, I'm not sure what that is. I will admit though, this past Sunday, I did my first 5K at the gym.
You did? Excellent.
So I actually got to run the Millennium Mile back in January because there are a couple of events I don't do. Mm-hmm. So my girlfriend was actually the one that got me to run it. So I ran it. That was great. And then I said, well, if I can do a mile, I can do a 5K, So the last couple months I've actually been leading up to it. And I did it at the gym. Did it in a time that I didn't feel too bad about myself. So,
Congratulations. Did you like it?
I liked it afterwards.
See, that's always the case. You get the sense of accomplishment. You're like, I did
Yes.
the damn thing. Okay.
Yeah. Daring is the most horrible thing ever. Like I'm not sure how these guys do it every week, multiple races. It's incredible.
Well, that's something
So
we
yeah.
all can relate to, for sure.
So now eventually, I'll find a gap in the schedule to do some kind of race at some point because you can do it at the gym, but until you actually do it, so.
See, you know what's happening? He did a mile, and then he just did a 5K, and then eventually he's going to be like, I could probably do a 10K.
Let's slow the brakes on that a little bit.
Maybe I could run 7.6 up Mount Washington. Then there's the New Hampshire 10 miler.
Oh
You're
boy!
skipping the Goffstown Gallop. That's 5.2 miles,
that'd be
right? It's right in
perfect.
between. He's
You know
shit.
what? I will stick to providing the tunes. That's like.
I know someone who I think knows a lot of music, and she could totally take over for one race.
There we go.
So you could run a marathon.
Yeah. Oh, a marathon.
He's like,
oh no
God,
way.
no.
Oh, like you had me until you said the word marathon.
You do great. Anyone
yeah.
can do it, man. I see this. You know what else I see? You see those funny like reels, memes and stuff like this sucks, it's awful, but you said the words, you liked it after, and it's like I'll never do it again, and then like a couple hours later looking online for the next one.
Well, you know what? Like it's because I'm in my 30s now, so I'm like, okay, I should probably start being some kind of healthy, because I spent my 20s not being healthy. So like now I'm like, all right, maybe I should take care of myself. And not that I'm going to go out and be an expert runner, but I'm around it all the time. So I was like, well, if I'm going to DJ these races, I got to at least run one race to see how it feels,
Gotcha.
And,
You're the full circle now. You've seen it
yeah,
from all different sides.
I
You could
definitely
relate when they run by you and you say something to them.
Well, so I definitely relate the music end of it, right? Like, because even for me running, like I need hyped up music, and like I do the same thing for the runners, and now I get how important it is to like have that hype up jams ready to go, So
Exactly.
Right.
Well, you definitely are very good at what you do because I've run several Millennium races. I've seen you a bunch of times and you deliver when it comes to the beats that the runners need. So this kind of leads us into how did you become a DJ for your profession? Like what sparked it?
Let's go back. Let's jump into DeLorean like we do
you
for
want to go
most
back?
runners.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's learn a little bit about you before that, and then how did music and the beats and everything come into your life?
So yeah, I mean, like I've always loved music, since I was little, right? I had family members that played the guitar. I was always, I caught the bug for it, And when I was in high school, like I wanted to have a band, and I actually did. Like we had a band and we played it in my mom's basement, and
fun.
we were horrible, but we had so much fun,
So what do you play yourself for instruments?
So I dabble in the acoustic guitar just for fun,
nice. I can't do that. So you got that on me.
I mean, I use the word dabble, right? It's nothing impressive,
Still.
but
It's impressive.
So,
I have my little bluey guitar, the little tiny one, and all I can do is hit the strings, man.
That's it. So that happened, and then at some point, I just realized that like the band thing wasn't going to work out.
What kind of
And
music?
really-
What kind of genre was your band? Were you like Aerosmith, or were you more like OAR, or were you like G Love and Special Sauce? What were you?
So like we played Stacy's Mom on repeat.
Yes.
Okay. Classic.
Yeah, it just like that's kind of what it was, or summer of '69, whatever it was,
Love
and like it was fun, but really what got this thing going was out of high school. I didn't go to college. I went to one semester and I hated it. So I said college isn't for me, which is great, And at the time I was 17, 18 years old, and I started doing like the nightclub scene in Manchester.
Okay.
But I was doing the under 21 events. So at a couple clubs in Manchester, I was the they gave me this BS title. It was like executive coordinator of under 21, which at the time I felt like I was like somebody, which I was nobody, right? So, um, and the first event that I did, I sold out the club. So the owner was like, "Who are you? How do you know all these people?"
Uh-huh.
Because in high school I was that kid that like everybody talked to. Like I didn't have one set of friend groups. I kind of just talked to
You got
everybody.
along with everybody.
Sure. So that happened, and then we would throw those parties, and the kids would go back to their high schools and say, "Hey, this DJ at this club was great. Can we have him come out for our school dances?"
Nice.
Well, at the time, I'm not a DJ, right? So like, um, a couple of schools call me and they say, "Hey, can we have you come out?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like let's do it." Mind you, I have nothing, right? I have nothing.
Oh, no
So
equipment or anything yet?
yeah, zero. Yeah. So this is like to that like late 2014, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And so I the first credit card that I ever had, I maxed it out buying equipment.
Yes.
Uh,
Gotta get started
yeah,
somehow.
yeah, and
It's
the
giving me
kid
Casey
that
Neistat vibes right now, to be honest.
right,
Yeah.
and the kid that DJ'd at the events, I brought him in. I brought my buddy who had sound equipment. So I bought all the lights. My buddy had the sound equipment. I brought him the DJ, and we kind of did this little like high school tour. And that's kind of how it started. And then at some point I was like, well, you know what, like I mean, with all the respect, the kid was great that DJ for me, but I was like, I can probably do a little better at this. Um, So it kind of came to a point where, we went our separate ways. There was nothing bad, but just schedules and stuff. And then I said, you know what? Let's see if I can do this on my own. And that's kind of how it really started. That there wasn't any like master plan to it. I just saw the demand in what was going on, and I said, let's try to do something with it, right? And like I'll never forget the first event I ever did. I got paid $300.
Shit, that's good.
Yeah, which like at the time, like I thought that was like $1 million, because like before that, like I was funding the whole thing myself, so like
Yeah.
I never got paid. So
Right.
like finally, like I got to pay the sound guy, I got to pay, like I got to pay everybody and like still have some money left,
Right.
which is great. So like at that point, I was like, all right, let's see if we can do this, and then
So let me ask you this. Are we
yeah,
talking like the high school dances in the cafeteria? Or are
yeah,
we talking
yeah.
like proms as well eventually?
So yeah, so I've done a couple of those, but it was mostly just in the cafeterias. The coolest thing was my own high school called me
Hmm.
and had me come out. So like at that time
Are
I
you
was what
still in
probably
high school?
no, I was probably like 2 3 years out of it.
Yeah.
Which was funny because my sister was 4 years behind me, so like I DJ'd her homecoming dance, which was hilarious.
You're like, hey,
Yeah,
anyone around her, keep an arm's length distance.
yeah.
I got eyes on you. Where did
So
you grow up, by the way?
in Merrimack, New Hampshire. So I went to Merrimack High,
Okay. Did you
and
ever do so I went to Timberlane, but
sure,
Timberlane would have high school and middle school dances, but I remember there was this church in Atkinson, New Hampshire called Holy Angels, and they would
okay.
have a dance like the first Friday or some Friday of every month. And we'd always go to those. Did you ever do like one of those dances at like it's not a school dance, but it was a dance held by like a church to raise money for the church, but then you go there and the DJ can't play like this song or that song, and you can't be like the kids have to be like this far apart while dancing.
Oh,
That's
no.
what I remember.
No, I don't think I've done anything like that. That'd be definitely interesting though. No, I've done mostly just schools. Yeah, to my knowledge. I mean, it's been 10 years of me doing this, so I've done God knows how many events. So
I got
it's
more questions. I got more. This is
yeah,
great.
Go
All
for
go
it,
right.
man.
for it.
Ask
All
away.
right.
Heck yeah.
What do schools say when you want to play a song and they're like, oh, that song doesn't say any bad words necessarily, but we know what it means. Like, what are your
Yeah.
limits there in
So
music?
so I remember this like yesterday. So the way I structured it was, you're not going to tell me what to play, trust me. And that was so like, why did I ever think that was a great idea?
You said that.
But yeah, like I told the school that I said, you're going to hire me. I'm going to play music. You can trust me that I won't do any swears, whatever.
I love that.
And I got a review, and I don't know, it was a miscommunication. I mean, like I look back at all this, and I was like, I was so young, like I did this such at a young age, and how all that like happened to where I didn't like take my career into a ditch is a miracle.
Oh
Because
no.
well, no, just because like there's no rules. Like we kind of just did. Like we wanted to give the kids the best experience we could.
Mhm.
Like there was no restrictions. There was no. We just give the best time. So yeah. So the girl that booked me, she was like, "Yeah, there are some songs that like weren't appropriate," and like I was like, you know, but like the kids loved it. So I was like, "Well, what's the problem?"
I know, right?
And like especially these days, right? Like the kids aren't gonna hear anything at these dances that they don't hear at home. So like I'm like, listen, like I'm not the bad influence in all this,
Right. You're actually
Mhm.
probably playing stuff that's better than what they're listening at home,
I'm
just because
sure.
you
Oh,
know
for
what
sure.
you can't. Yeah.
Because even now, like I'll do high school and middle school dances, and I'm like, what are you guys listening to? Like like the stuff I listened to was so different, from what they did.
Now, do you go back way, way, way back to like probably what your parents listened to a lot, and do you play songs like "Shout" or like the YMCA or
So
like that the Electric Slide
Those are
and get
very
everyone to do that
wedding-y,
stuff?
wedding songs.
so like here's my problem. Like I'm gonna be 32 in August, and like I like those songs now, and I'm like,
Oh, they're
damn,
great.
like I'm turning into my parents, and it's horrible.
Love
Because
Shack. Put that on the list.
yeah, like it's like I fought so long for so hard to not like it, but now I'm like, damn, like these songs are actually good.
Yeah, those are the
So
crowd pleasers when you go to
yeah,
weddings and stuff. You get like excited when you hear them. You're like, I know this one, and all the people age doesn't even
yeah,
matter. So, yeah,
which like
definitely
I
crowd
do a lot of
pleaser.
weddings these days, so I definitely have my go-to list of songs that
Mhm.
I know that do well. And it's all those songs. It's exactly that. And so yeah, I guess we all turn into our parents at some point.
That's funny.
True.
Tell
You
me,
know,
all right, you're well aware we're on the runs and we talk about Code Browns, but Code Browns have always been just like oh crap moments. So
yeah.
I want to hear like what oh crap moments have you had? And it could be like when you're starting out and you're like you tested everything and then all of a sudden you show up and it doesn't work. Like what are some of the things that have happened to you that you're like, oh
So
shit?
yeah, so there's two stories that I remember, and this is the first year doing all this. One, the DJ that I hired said the wrong school name.
Were the
So
kids like,
like,
what?
yeah, so like, I mean, it probably was embarrassing for them, but for me, I'm like, dude, like, you know where we are. Um, so like
The
that was kind of
rival, you said the
embarrassing.
rival's name.
Yeah, like it was the school we did that previous weekend. So I was like,
Gotcha.
come on.
That's very reminiscent of like when you're at a concert and the band's like, "What's up, New York?" and you're in Boston and you're like, "What the hell, dude? Like,
Oh
get
yeah,
your shit together."
exactly. And then the second time was so my first couple of years starting out, I did a bunch of dance marathons for Boston Children's Hospital. And back then, like I said, like all this DJ stuff, I just threw myself into it, right? Like I
Mhm.
never, like I never asked anybody for advice. Like I kind of just did it. That's always been my personality, my way of doing things is just doing it until you figure it out, and
True. That's the best
and
way to
hopefully
learn sometimes.
and hopefully you don't screw up too many times.
Yep.
And I was at Alvern High School in Hudson, and it was with a PA system that I rented and that I had picked up the night before,
Mhm.
and I didn't know how to use it.
Oh no.
And so like, um, now mind you, for this event, I didn't get paid. So I mean, looking back at it now, I'm like, all right, they got what they got.
Oh,
um,
yeah.
but so like all of a sudden I'm trying to tap into their sound system, and then that didn't work. And then finally somebody from the school knew how to work the stuff, and he comes over and he helped me figure it out. And like, I was so appreciative of that guy because obviously, I'm a year into this. I'm embarrassed, right? Because like, obviously, no matter what, you want to try to give a decent product. And yeah, so that was probably the most oh crap moment for sure. These days, thankfully, I have a lot of redundancy in what I do. So even if something does go down within seconds, like
Like at this point, you've seen it, so you know how to solve it.
yeah. So I mean, I would notice it for sure, but you guys probably wouldn't.
Right.
So it's one of those things where, um, and working for Millennium, I kind of learned a lot from those guys in the redundant side of like, hey, you know, just because it goes down, we need to keep going. So they taught me a lot on that aspect as well.
Awesome.
And I appreciate that because obviously just because something goes wrong doesn't mean you stop and you go home. A lot of people will get frustrated that way, right? But at least now when I'm getting paid, you can't do that. When I was doing it for free, well, you know what, whatever.
That's
But
rough.
yeah.
So
I
you
love
said
it.
you
What
were
a story,
doing
man. You maxed out that credit card and you kept going. You did some gigs for free and then you made a little money. You're like, yeah.
Well, and like that's one thing a lot of people don't know is the first couple of years, like I did stuff for free all the time. Like I never got paid, and it took me a while to really get paid. Because like I said, for a while I didn't have the sound equipment. And at the time it was with all my friends. So I basically paid my friends over
Right.
me,
Right.
and I think that was a valuable lesson for sure, or a key component to the growth is that I never took it for granted. Like I always did what I had to do to make it happen.
So many people want like instant satisfaction. They want
Yeah.
instant, money. They want instant this, instant. They want it to happen now and overnight, and they don't put in the work of the years. And maybe they're not passionate enough about it if they're not getting something back. Where you seem to be very passionate about this. You learned, you bought the gear, you did it right, and eventually, years later, you see a big ROI.
Sure. Yeah, it's I mean it took a while to actually see some kind of money, and honestly I'm happy, you know, like I have conversations with people all the time, and you see people that instantly things go right for them, and there's always two sides to everything, right? But like I've had a very slow and steady growth over the years. And I really appreciate that journey more than anything now because I feel like I was able to do it the right way. I feel like when things, and especially a lot of these guys these days, you know, even guys that I hire to do other events, they'll give me these prices and I'm like, listen, like I wasn't making that when you first started, you're not gonna be making that. Like we all need to go through the ranks of how
Right.
things work. Um, you know, it just so yeah, I'm a big component of like, you gotta start somewhere and end up somewhere else. But I don't think people should be given it right away because I think
Yeah.
that gives you a false sense of what's happening.
You got to pay your dues.
Yeah, yeah. It's. I mean, like I said, I've been doing it for 11 years now, so it's been a while, and at this point, I don't regret anything for sure.
I
Good.
got to pause for one.
So, Darren, we know that you've been DJing for 11 years now, and that is so awesome. You've worked your way from the bottom. Now you're here. So, we want to know how you got in with the Millennium Crew. We are big fans of their races, and they put on a great show, and you are a big part of that. So, I want to know how you got to know them and how you became their number one DJ.
So it was, so I started in 14 with the school dances. 2015 was my real first year of like actually doing real events.
You were established at that point. You were
like my first wedding, which went horrible, but like so. But I, being in the club scene when I was younger, I had, and I'm not gonna name names, but I had seen a radio DJ the event, and my job was to cut the checks at the end of the event. And yeah, this was a 3-4 hour event. and I'm kind of check, and I go to the owner, how much is he getting paid? And this is a well-established Boston radio DJ. Okay, this isn't a small market guy, and he got paid $150 for 4 hours.
Ooh.
And that was the moment where I said, I'm not doing nightclubs, I'm not doing bars. I respect the people that do it, and there's nothing wrong with it. But I said, I'm going to go the corporate route and do corporate events.
Okay.
My family has a business, so I've always had a business influence, and I knew that doing corporate events would get me more money eventually. So you have little baby Darren at the time going on Google and finding out the phone numbers of every New Hampshire company you could think of. So I'm calling Auto Fair. I'm calling. I called everybody, and I got no's across the board.
Oh, really?
But like I'm a nobody, right? I'm pretty sure I had just made a Facebook page that had like 20 that had like 20 followers on it, right? And I had friends that had run Millennium races, so I knew of the name. So I called the phone number, and this is November of 2015. And at the time, John was like running the show by himself. So John picks up, and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Darren Roy. I'm a DJ. I would love to DJ your events." And like, I don't believe in miracles but he said we're actually looking for a DJ to be a part of our events.
Okay.
And I'm like, holy crap, this is great,
So that's literally how you did it. You called, he
Yeah.
answered, the rest is history.
Yeah, and
I
so
want to hear
that
the
was
history, though.
we want to hear the history. Yes, yes.
so that was November of 15. January of 16, he goes, we have a party at a restaurant in Concord. We'd like you to DJ the party. I'm like, great. So it's January, it's snowing, it's crappy out. I got my buddy, I hired him to come help me. I show up to the party late.
Oh no.
I kid you not. Because we had gone in misdirection, something happened. So I showed up 30 minutes late, approximately, probably. So like I'm like going into the venue, I'm like rushing to set everything up. And I did the event, and the person who was in charge at the time of vendors or whatever came up to me and they said, "Hey man, like you did a great job. We would love to have you next week at the Snowflake Shuffle at the Copper in Bedford." So I'm like, "Cool, great," and
Not
like
bad for being late.
yeah, and like I still talk to John about it to like current, now I'm like, you hired me when I was late, but like
It's a
adds a
Code
good
Brown.
story.
That's a Code Brown story.
Sure, for sure. And so yeah, and at the time, I had done very 200, 300 person crowds, but I had never done 2,000. And at the time, and so at the time, like I was doing the Snowflake Shuffle, and it was sold out that year. And like John's like, "You're gonna DJ in front of 2,000 people." And I'm like, "Holy smokes!" Like that's like huge, because like that's what I wanted, right? But I never thought I would actually see it. So sure enough, that next week, it's cold, it's miserable, and I set up my two speakers, and I have my table, and like I still look at photos of that event today, and like I was wearing like a sweatshirt, and I'm like, I was so trying to look cool back then and not actually be warm.
Because I'm thinking about it.
I
It's
wonder if I
very
can
hit
find
or
this
miss for
photo.
that race. Like wicked hit or miss.
And like I'm wearing like Beats headphones because at the time I wanted to look cool, which now I don't do that because But like it's such a funny story for sure. And I did the event, and obviously it went great, and they're like, we would love to have you do more of our races. So that year, don't quote me on it, but I probably did 4 or 5 races that year.
Great. That's a good
You
way to
know,
get in with them. That like you just keep doing a little bit better.
yeah,
Like more people, they love you.
and like it was so cool because they they manage a event at Boston College, and they brought me to a 5K race at Boston College where
Mhm.
I got to DJ on the 50-yard line of
So
BC Stadium.
cool. No way.
So like I'm like young in this, I'm 2 years into it, and like I'm doing all these cool opportunities, and I couldn't be happier. And
You earned it because you went out there, you made the phone calls and the emails, and you did the cold calls, you tried, like you didn't
Sure.
wait for them to call you, you called them.
Yeah, like I actually called him
Earned it.
multiple times, and like he could have been like, dude, like stop calling me, but he never did. Like he was so supportive, and I appreciate that so much because I was so young at the time, and
Mhm.
like I really needed, like I needed somebody like him to support me that way to give me the confidence to do what I do today.
Awesome.
Because like I said, at the time, there was no's left and right, and so yeah, so basically, from there the relationship grew and turned into what it is today, pretty much.
Do you do all of their races?
So the only races I don't do currently
Mhm.
is Newburyport
Okay.
and Boots. The Boots race in August.
Boot, scoot, and boogie. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Is that
and
because are you not a country guy, or do they get a live
no,
band? Like I hear that night is one of the most fun nights for
it
Millennium
is an
Running.
awesome race. So actually, I'm a hardcore guy for country. Actually, like I'm like before DJing, that was my genre of music, and now DJing, now I know everything. But
Yeah.
yeah, for that race, it's because of the bands. It just wouldn't make sense. And for Newburyport, there's some contractual things with that, whatever it is.
Gotcha.
Now,
But yeah,
would they ask you to help out in another way because you're part of the Millennium team, or are you strictly just DJ and you got the night off?
like it really, it's really a event by event situation. Sometimes I'll come in and help out. But like especially now, I'm booked up doing other stuff now, right? So
Mhm.
so that's kind of there's only so many weekends.
That's
So
true.
so they're very so I really try to fill up my calendar as much as I can. But yeah, I do all the other races and then some other races for them. But what's unique about my situation with them is I started DJing for them, and then I've kind of turned into a sound company slash DJ.
Hmm.
So
I love
like
this. I love this.
so like I'll never forget it. It was Trick or Trot, I think 2016, 17. And at the time, I was bringing two speakers. Actually, this is a great story that I've never told before, actually.
Ooh,
So,
exclusive.
On the
yeah,
runs
this is
exclusive.
a
We love it.
exclusive here.
We love it.
So John goes, "Hey, would it be cool to have four speakers?" And in my naive self, I said, "Yeah, that'd be great." Not having four speakers, only having two, right?
Okay.
So for a year, 2 years, I rented speakers for their events
Oh,
so that they could have four.
okay.
So yeah, and at the time John didn't know that I was renting. Like I just said, yeah, no problem. Like I've got them. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
And so yeah, uh so then that's kind of how it built up the two into one thing. Because for the races that I do, not only do I do sound for it, it's all my sound equipment, but I DJ the race as well.
Very cool.
Like I know you've had Jamie on.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got some questions about the two of you coming up, but yes.
Yeah. And so what's nice about Millennium is that they really care about the experience. So, there's never just one person doing something.
Mm.
Whether it's on course, start line, finish line, it really takes a team to make this happen. So within myself, there are other guys that do things as well, which really makes it for a really awesome experience because everywhere you go, you're hearing music, you're hearing announcers. That's one thing that I've never done for them is announcing. We've always had announcers.
Mhm.
So basically, I just take care of the sound and the music for them.
I think that's cool because that's a lot to juggle. If you're trying to focus on music and then also trying to pronounce people's names like that. I could just see how that would get
Like
very
Knudsen.
overwhelming.
What a name.
Well, and you know what? I don't necessarily envy Jamie or Andy's job because I see some of these last names and I'm like, God, like, how,
Some of the first names, dude. Some of the
sure.
first names throw me off.
Well, and you know what? It wouldn't be a big deal if we had 100 runners at these events.
Oh, but you have
Right.
thousands.
Thousands, right? So it's their jobs are hard, So that's kind of where I come in, right? Is I make their job easier
Mm-hmm.
because their only job is to show up, hold the mic, and do their job.
Yes.
My job is to take care of it, make sure they sound good, and make sure the music under it sounds great as well.
Gotcha.
So that's a nice, unique dynamic that we have for sure.
So Jamie's not the only announcer. There's multiple announcers from Millennium. I know Jamie's at a lot of the races, but not all. You're the sound guy and the DJ for all but 2. So going into this, like when you first met Jamie and when you first met the other announcers, what are the things you do to them to say, how can I help you? What do they usually give you back as feedback? How do you guys work together and bounce off of each other?
So usually we're at separate spots, right? So sometimes Andy will be on the course, Jamie will be at start, and I'll be at finish, or I'll be at So there's a lot of juggling going on, but I will tell a great story. The first couple of years with Millennium, I think this probably shows how I was, and it probably made a difference to John. Was that we were at the Boston Triathlon, and I showed up, and I was supposed to be in an area, and it wasn't. There was a lot of chaotic things going on that morning, and my area wasn't ready, and I had no power, so I couldn't. And at the time, I didn't bring generators and stuff like that, so I was kind of just left. Like I had driven to Boston, and I was kind of just like left with no role. So I took it upon myself to go to Andy, who was announcing the race, and I plugged in my turntables into his sound system and just started DJing. And looking back at it now, like John tells me, he goes like, not a lot of guys who have done that, taking the lead on just doing it, and a guy like Andy who has been in it forever, I've only been doing it for 11 years. He's been doing it for a long time. I definitely learned a lot of stuff from him. Mostly how John likes the events to be presented, and I took his advice and not necessarily copied it, but made it my own while still liking what Millennium likes to have.
Absolutely.
So it's yeah, do I do what I do at the capacity I do it? Sure, but it does take a team for it. It's not.
Absolutely.
I don't just give myself credit by any means. It takes the whole team to do it.
Well, you actually brought something up, and I remember the New Hampshire 10 miler, and that's one of my favorite races around here because I love the hills.
Yeah.
Hills pay the bills, right, baby?
I can't say that. I do it, but it's not my favorite.
It was that race where I came up with the idea of having Jamie on, and I was like, let's get an announcer, because it was actually Andy who I heard at the 5 mile point. As you climb the hill, you make the turn, and that's a section where if you're doing the relay you can change runners, right? So if you're the sound guy, are you setting up sound for all the different areas at the start finish and at the 5 mile mark, say at that race? Do you hire a sound guy to take care of that the entire time as you're in another part of the course? How do you manage all that?
Yeah, so that's the beauty of John and how he hires, is that Jamie has his own sound equipment, Andy has his own sound equipment, and I have my own sound equipment. So to give you a perfect example, for Foot Race for the Fallen this past year that we just did, Jamie was at the start line with his equipment, and I was at the finish line with my equipment. And then the announcers would just go back and forth.
Oh, cool.
Or actually, for that race, Andy just came in and did announcing. He didn't do any setup for the race. He just came in and announced. For the corporate 5K, I am at the start line with my equipment, and Jamie comes in and announces. Andy's at the finish line with his equipment.
Okay.
And then for races like the Manchester City Marathon, it wasn't always this way, but we've kind of consolidated it now for the past couple of years. It's all my equipment, and Andy and Jamie uses my equipment to announce.
Throughout
Very
the
nice.
entire course, or just
Yeah.
at the start finish?
Just at the start finish.
So when I was doing that New Hampshire 10 miler and I heard Andy at the 5 mile checkpoint, Andy has his gear. He's doing his thing. He's probably playing the music on his own too.
Yep. Yes.
Now, Jamie loves to always play, correct me if I'm wrong, Erika, Thunderstruck.
I think if Jamie could be reincarnated as a band, it would be AC/DC. Like that's his thing. And it's so funny because when I'm doing sound, he'd be like, "Hey, like, you gonna play some AC/DC?" I'm like, "Yes, Jamie, no problem." So
I love it. I love it. Second greatest band in the world, by the way. Second greatest. Only one behind Aerosmith, who is New Hampshire's very own. But
I could have guessed that.
here's maybe I'm doing a bad job at trying to get what I want here. But Jamie plays Thunderstruck at the beginning of every race. If you two are actually, you might have just answered that. If you two are at the same station and you're using your sound gear, he's announcing. You just know what to play for him.
Yeah, or I'll just play what I think. Like we all have our own individual tastes, right? And they all correlate to the same product. A great atmosphere for the runners. So I might not always use an ACDC song, but I'll use "Let's Go" by Calvin Harris.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's a great pump up, like "Let's Go." So there's many songs that correlate with a great start to the race. I don't believe there's just one in particular that is best for all applications, right? So I think that's what's nice is you get multiple ideas on what a good start line hype is, right?
Mhm.
So that's kind of nice for sure.
Yeah, I love how everyone I love this behind the scenes thing, and I love that you started a podcast called Behind the Scenes. But I love all the things you don't see. And I love hearing about how it all works and the good and the bad and what you did and wrong and figured it out to do it right. Like, I think it's so cool. I would love, it'd be a lot of fun. I'm just going to say this. I'm going to manifest this. Like, I want to come to a race if I can get there freaking early, not as the gun's going off. I would instead of just going, "Hey, Jamie, hey, Darren, hey, guys," I would love to get a behind the scenes tour.
Well, so and that's what I think a lot of people do realize it. I think it'd be naive to say that they don't, but for me, I show up 3 or 4 hours before start time.
Wow.
There's many mornings where 4:45, 4:30 is my wake up call, and by 5 a.m. I'm on site ready to go.
Wow.
Due to the increased production that we have now, I've actually been able to be in a situation where I have people who I employ that work for me.
Good.
So cool.
Yeah, well, because now for an average race we do 5 to 6 speakers on towers that go up 15 feet in the air. Eventually there comes to a point where I did a lot of these races on my own for a very long time,
A lot
and
to handle.
well, you know what the problem is I would set up and then not have energy to DJ.
Right. And you need the energy. That's where the music choices come from. You want to pump everybody up, but you got to pump yourself up too.
So that's what's kind of been the coolest thing now is as Millennium has grown, I've been able to grow my own business with them. And now I have employees that I hire, and
That's
now
awesome.
so it's kind of like a full circle moment for sure. And it's kind of funny because I was talking I've always been eager or wanting the growth. I always want to do more. I'm never satisfied. So that's what's been kind of cool is they've given me that avenue to really, hey, we're gonna trust you to do what you do and go for it. Which is awesome because for a kid that like started this and never thought he would get one gig to be able to do what I do today. I mean, listen, I'm more of a fan. Like, I'm the biggest fan of all this than anybody else for sure. Like, there's sometimes where I just step back. We have hectic mornings where things go wrong or a longer setup, and sometimes I just step back and I'm like, holy crap, I get to do this. Like, this is great, And like, I think what's nice about what we do as well, a lot of jobs you don't get to see direct impact of somebody's moods or emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And every race day, you might be tired because you got 2 hours of sleep, which is what I usually get, by the way. Like,
Oh, geez.
well, because I'm so afraid of, like, even to this day, I'm so afraid of oversleeping
Yep. I
that,
feel
like,
that.
like, I just like kill myself sleep wise, but that's fine. I get to sleep the rest of the week, so no
Darren, that's
problem.
me before a race because I know
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, if I
You're a
oversleep, I'm
runner,
gonna
dude.
screw
You don't
everything
know
up.
it, but
He's a runner, just the running part isn't quite there yet.
That's it. So, so throughout all those emotions and all that, what's going on, it's really, it's really good to see, let's say somebody's running their first race and, maybe they didn't go as fast as the others, but they're still coming in. And one thing that I realized a couple of years ago, and now we implement it throughout all the races, is that we want to give the first finisher and the last finisher the same experience.
Oh, I love
Um,
that. I
that's,
am so
you know,
thankful for
John,
that.
John, taught me that early on that, hey, listen, you want to maybe tear down because, because there's two finishers left, but let's give the first and the last the same experience. And I think today we've mastered that for sure. And I don't know, just for me, it feels really good to be maybe not directly a part of their journey on running, but I'm definitely, there's pieces of the pie
yeah.
that come together
Absolutely.
for it.
Yeah, you are
And
a big part of this running community.
well, I
Absolutely.
listen. I would never say that, okay?
I
But,
can.
but I appreciate you saying that for
You
sure.
are making a big
Um,
impact
you
in the
know,
sport.
so like it's just nice to go home and be like, I did this today, and I saw a direct impact of what somebody's doing.
Absolutely.
And like I do really care. Like a lot of people that do my job kind of phone things in a lot of the
Hmm.
times. I see it all the time, right? And for me, I promise you, I care more than anybody else. So it's really great to just see all these good vibes, and you know, especially I like especially the Manchester City Marathon, right? Like somebody completes their first marathon, and like you see
Hmm.
them come down, and they're tired, and everybody's cheering, and like you. I've been there for 10 hours, but like you like find a boost of energy to hype them up and like get them going and get them through that finish line. And it's you know, I'm not a doctor, but I feel like I'm doing a really good thing.
It's a
Yeah,
very
baby.
important thing that you're doing, honestly, especially for the people who may not run as fast as some others, and it's a struggle to finish. But you are putting in all the effort, you are putting in the time, and you are making sure their experience is as good as everybody else's, and that just keeps them coming back, and it
Yeah.
keeps renewing their love for the sport. So it honestly is such an important thing.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's it's something that it's rare that you get to find a job that you love what you do, and I
Oh
really
yeah.
love what I do. And I always told myself that if I stopped loving it, I would stop doing it
Hmm.
because it's unfair to myself and it's unfair to the people that
Exactly.
I'm DJing for. So yeah.
Keep
So
it up,
it's
Darren. We love to see it.
thank you. Yeah, it's great.
All right. Well, in a couple of days from right now is Millennium's next race. It's the Boston Run to Remember. It's a half marathon and a 5 miler that starts at 7 a.m.
Ooh,
on the
early day.
25th of May, just in a couple of days. So if the race starts at 7 a.m., when does your alarm go off?
So we actually come in the day before to set up.
Oh, excellent.
So
Saves a
Smart,
little time.
wicked smart.
well, so we don't always get that opportunity, but let me tell you, when we do, I appreciate it so much because it makes the
Mhm.
morning of so much easier. So I'll come in at about noontime the day before, when the street gets shut down, and we'll do as much setup as we can.
Mhm.
Um, and then the next morning we'll be fine tuning things, touching things up. But for that race, my wake up call was 3:45.
Yep, that's true runner's alarm clock right
Yeah. So,
What time you think you actually fell asleep?
never.
Darren's like, I'm
Never,
up
yeah.
all night.
No, it's
Brother.
so like it's so funny. I've never been a coffee guy in my entire life until I started with these guys. Now they got me onto coffee, and I'm so pissed about it because I always said I wouldn't drink coffee, but now it's just these mornings are
Right.
like
Yeah.
these mornings are just so early now that
Wow.
I gotta have something,
Right.
So, but what's funny about Boston Run to Remember was that it's a newly acquired race for Millennium, and every January I get my schedule for them, which is great because from January to December I know what I'm doing.
Yes.
And I'll tell you guys a little story. That race I wasn't assigned for.
Oh.
Well, because it was a first year race and they were still figuring things out.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say March of 20. So this would be our third year doing it. So March of 23, I had a meeting with John. And you know me, the fake it until you make it guy, right?
Mhm.
I was like, so like, what's going on with Boston? He's like, like we're still weighing things out. And I went to him and I go, I want to do it. And he goes, really? And I go, yeah, like I think I can do it, no problem. And he goes, all right, you got it. And like for me, that was such like first of all, it was mind blowing, right? But to do what I get to do at the level that I do it is amazing. I never thought I would get there, but like this is like a whole other level here. Like it's what 7,000 runners, 6,000 runners, like whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I was like, holy crap! Like I just sold myself on it, and now I have to actually give results. you know, um, but what's nice about that race is every year is a learning curve, right? Like you learn something new every year. So now this year going into it, like I have my routine. We know what to expect, So, um, but yeah, like that was never on the schedule for me in the beginning, and now, and I kind of had to sell myself on it and be like, hey, listen, like I can do this, because listen, he could have hired a Boston sound company to come in and do it, and no problem. But I think that's where I really appreciate our relationship, is I've kind of said, hey, I can do this, and he's been like, all right, do it.
There you
And
go. He's got the trust in you. You've proved yourself
yeah,
time and time again.
which luckily I've done good. I'm gonna knock on some wood here, but
Do it.
but so yeah, I mean that race is a highlight for sure, just because of the capacity, right? I mean, if you would ever told me I would DJ in front of 2,000 people, I would say no way. If you would ever said 5,000 for the corporate race, I would have said no way. But then 6,000, 7,000, like that's crazy. There's guys that don't get to do that. So I'm by any means do I take it for granted, and by any means do I not know what we're doing for that race. It's pretty incredible.
I should have asked this earlier, but is this your full-time gig?
So now I have the privilege of doing this full time.
Dude, one, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And two, it's great because like when you go to John and you're like, hey, I want it. I love that drive. You got that drive and that passion. And yeah, sometimes when they say, all right, it's yours, you're like, oh shit, I got to show up now and do it.
Gotta deliver.
But it's great. Like, oh, I love, and you deliver. That's even like, that's just so icing on the cake there. That's awesome.
Sure. I mean, that's kind of how I've always been. If you ask my parents, that's how I've always been. And I really give credit to how my business has been, because I'm that way. I think if I was another way, it wouldn't be what it'd be. But yeah, I had the privilege of going full time a couple of years ago, and
full time as a DJ. I want to clarify: you're a full time DJ. Work for yourself, not just Millennium, but you do events from weddings. You advance beyond like the cafeteria, middle school dance.
Yeah,
you're doing weddings and big events and stuff. So
yeah, so with Millennium, I do 32 races with them per year, approximately. I do 15 weddings a year on top of that.
Yep.
And in total, I do about 100 events a year.
Wow.
Sick.
That is a lot.
So,
Well,
yeah.
good thing you got a
So,
team behind you to help you out with all that stuff too.
yeah, and that's kind of what I'm experiencing now is that growing pain, right? Of
Yeah.
like, because like now, being a business owner, I DJ on the weekends and then I do business during the week, so it's definitely been an adjustment, but let me tell you, I wouldn't have it another way because, to see something go from zero to turn into what it's turned into now, kind of cool. I mean, once again, I just love what I do, and I think that drives me to make every event that I do better than prior. And this year's Boston Run to Remember will be different than the year before, and it'll be different next year. And I think and it'll be different in a good way, right? Because better more equipment, better, it keeps getting better and better. I feel like especially this past couple of years, every event just gets better, and like I'm like, and the worst part is a lot of it I don't pre-plan. I just go off the cuff and it just works, and I I'm mind blown myself, right? But yeah,
There's your skill. That's the skill to know what you're doing and to do it right. It's from years of doing it, paying off.
That's kind of what I've always done. I've never pre-planned things out. I've kind of just done it, and it just works. And I'd rather keep it that way. Keep the system going.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
So I used to bartend in college at the Lucky Dog in Plymouth, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
And as I was opening the bar, kind of like getting ready, I would hook my iPod up to the aux cord.
Sure.
And I would be like testing the sound and the volume and everything. And I always had a go-to song. What's your go-to song here?
Oh my gosh. That's such a hard question though. But
I feel like this is gonna fit in with
Erika's
my
question coming up.
Well, I feel like it's gonna be one and the same, but we'll see.
I'll tell you what mine was.
Okay, sure.
Sweet Emotion by Aerosmith.
Great song, for sure.
Yes. Just like blasting in that bar, no one else is there. I'm getting jacked up, the build up and everything. That flapper tool instrument, I can't think of the name right now, but it breaks in the middle of it and they kept it in the recording. Oh,
so
God, what's
I feel like probably it'd be Shut Up and Dance by Walk the Moon.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I say that is because during that song they have like a breakdown period where it's just like the instruments, and usually I'll be like, hey, like if you're having a good time, scream, and like I'll get the biggest reactions from those interactions, and I've been doing that since the start. So that, or like Don't Stop Believing, I guess that's also another big one.
Classic.
Because every night, not races, but at like other events, that's the last song that I end with every time.
Oh, not closing time?
I will throw that in as people. I will throw that in as people are walking out, but
DJ might be at the Lucky Dog. I would always play that at 101. Closing time.
Yeah. I try not to be that cheesy, like stereotypical, like
yeah, Eric.
But like I definitely do understand that those songs do have an impact on people, but like it was so funny, like I would do these high school dances, and remind me, what was that song back when you guys were in high school that they would always finish with? It was like a Led Zeppelin song, was it? Or
Stairway to Heaven, is that the one?
Yes, and it would be so funny because the teacher would go, "You didn't play Stairway to Heaven." I go, "Because the kids don't know it."
Well, I have to say, even when I was in school, like I didn't like that song.
Yeah,
I was a little too.
When I hear that, I immediately think of Wayne's World when he goes into the guitar shop and he plays the first chord, and the guy goes, "No," points to the sign, and Wayne goes, "Stairway, denied."
So like I've always tried not to be that cheesy DJ, and honestly I attribute that to my age as well. Like I'm only 31, so I kind of have a.
You're still hip.
Yeah,
me not so much. I'm stuck.
I'm trying to be like let me tell you, like when I do these middle school dances and these kids come up with these TikTok songs, I'm like, I know that,
That's a different story.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
I don't know
Darren,
if he's ready for this.
I know that Eric was saying like, what's your go-to song? But we have a Spotify playlist and we like to invite our guests to add something to it. So are you going to go that same route with your song choice, or are you going to pick something different for our playlist?
I'll tell you this. I actually think the song's on there, so go different.
I'm pretty sure you chose it,
Probably.
Eric.
Yeah, it's my song.
Yeah,
In
Shut Up
fact,
and Dance.
that song, my sister, when she ran her first half marathon, she asked me to pick a song to add to her playlist. It was Shut Up and Dance. It's a great song.
Love it.
Yeah. You know what? I mean, like the last couple of years, it's like all the Taylor Swift songs are just outrageous now, right? Like, you know, like when I do these events, that's all they want to hear, and they sing the loudest to them. That or the "Hot to Go" song, like that's huge now too.
Yep.
You know, you know. So I just try to play what everybody loves and sings the loudest too.
But what do
Yeah.
you love that you want
If
to
you
put
could
on the
only
list?
add one song to Eric's
Oh, God.
playlist, though, one song.
One song. You know what? It'd be "Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy" by Big and Rich.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, come on.
that's
You know, like,
awesome.
I even know that one.
yeah, well, but like you know, like for anybody that's country, right? Like when you hear that song, you can't help but get hyped up by it, you know. So
That's one of the few. See, I'm not a very big country fan, but I know that one. I even know the words because everybody else knows it, and it gets
Sure.
played, and it's great. So
Yeah.
that one's going on there.
it's a very unique addition, but you know,
Yeah. Hey,
Now,
it fits.
but great
We got
song.
everything.
Erica and I, you've mentioned a couple of times you're 31.
Yeah.
We're not, but that song
We're-
came out
We're at the top
when
of
we were like
30s.
freshmen in college, Erica. Maybe the year before, but around
Okay.
that time, it was huge. So
Sure.
that would have been 2004.
Oh gosh, I was what, like 11, 12?
Well, you're older than Ali
stabs
G.
me in the heart every
Yeah.
time I hear that. Our friend Ali G, her and I get along so well, and she's 10 years younger than me. I'm like, how are you 10 years younger?
Yeah.
It's fine.
We're old, man, but we love this. We
We
love
act
this.
young.
No, listen, like I'm 31, but I feel like I'm 81. Okay, so you know, don't worry
Well,
about
Like
it.
I'm 15.
You just
like,
started
it's total
running.
opposite.
You're going to shed those years off. You're going to feel younger.
Oh,
And
gosh.
I think your first official 5K, I know it, should be the Boot, Scoot, and Boogie 5K. Because one,
Oh, boy.
you're not working it because they're having country acts.
Yeah.
Two, it's in August, so you got some time to keep building for it. And three, Erica and I will be there to cheer you on if you do it.
So unfortunately, I have two events that day.
Ah!
He's like, oh,
Yeah.
bummer.
I'll
Yeah.
DJ the
To
event
run
for
in the
you.
heat. And the...
Yeah. So it's but no. Eventually you will see me out there for something. It just
Well,
I'm
you let me know. I'll grab my iPod 2, the second
Yeah, perfect.
version that still is in my truck, and the battery lasts for about a little bit. And I'll just hit random shuffle.
So like a little story that's funny, right? Is that for all the momentum that I've had all these years, my friends really know how to like humble me down if I ever get a little too in myself. So they'll always be like, "Listen, like you just put an iPod on and just put it on shuffle and just let it roll." I'm like, "I do not. I do way more than that." But like it's been a running joke all these years that I'm an overpriced iPod,
Oh my God.
and like I appreciate that because it keeps me level, like it keeps me,
Darren, let me tell you, I have tried to DJ. I did a race once and I tried to do it all. And that was probably the most stressful part. So I am giving you so many props. You are
Thank you.
awesome.
Yeah.
You saved the day.
You know what you
make the
deserve,
vibe.
dude? You deserve one of these.
Yes, 100 times yes.
Heck yeah.
Hey, I
No,
haven't asked my big question yet, though, Erica. You kind of jumped in.
I
with
did,
yours.
I
Perfect
stole it.
timing. Perfect timing. But Darren, I do have. So Erica and I always ask these final two big questions. They're super
Sure.
hard, right? She has a song. Here's mine. On the Runs is going to have this huge pasta dinner at the end of the year with all our guests from 2025. And we might have you DJ it if it was a real event, not imaginary. But
Sure.
you're invited and you get to bring a +1. You can bring anyone in the world, alive or dead. Who you bringing?
Gosh, these questions are hard. So, I mean, oh my gosh. I apologize for the pause, but
You can cut it
um,
out.
like I've never been
I'm
asked.
gonna insert the Jeopardy music actually.
Yeah. Da, 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 da. Anybody ever? You know what? Elvis.
Ooh,
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
Did you watch the Elvis movie?
No.
Ah, dude. Do you like
No.
Tom Hanks?
Oh, of course. Yeah, for
You
sure.
won't like him if you watch the movie.
Oh,
You'll
okay. Well,
think of
that's fine.
Tom Hanks
What?
as an asshole, a
Oh,
jerk. Yeah, you'll be like, you know what? I don't like this Tom Hanks.
because he plays his manager.
Yes.
Oh
And he's
Yeah.
no.
and he's not
Yeah.
a good
Who?
person.
No,
Yeah,
he was horrible. Yeah, he
Oh
took all his
no.
money, went off.
right.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
You haven't seen it, Erica? It's a
Mm-mm.
really good movie. I watched it on one of my
Okay.
I
work
should probably
trips.
watch it for
Yeah,
sure.
it was really good.
But
I
yeah,
would never have guessed like that's what his life was like. I thought he toured the world and went
yeah,
everywhere and said it was pretty much he lived like in prison and
yeah, for
was
sure.
fed drugs and everything just to go perform at the same place every night.
Oh my god.
Which like, not that my life is that way, right? But like a lot of people see, you know, these performers or entertainers only one side, right? And like,
Mm,
there's always stories that come out now, and it's not exactly what it's made to
Yeah.
be out sometimes. It's a really taxing business to be in. Even at the level that I'm in, it's definitely like a young man's game, and
mm,
you gotta really love it, especially in the beginning because you don't make money doing it.
right.
So
Yeah. But you had the passion, the drive, you kept going. You weren't like, hey, it's not working out after 3 DJ attempts. You just kept doing
yeah,
it, dude. And that's what I love. I love that you got that passion and that
thank
drive, man, and you kept at it. And now you do this full time for yourself. Like you weren't looking for instant gratification or instant money in
you.
your wallet.
Sure.
You maxed out the credit card. You bought all the stuff you needed. When John says, "Hey, wouldn't 4 speakers be cool?" You're like, "Yeah," and you rented more speakers to make it happen. He had no clue. I mean,
No idea.
What's your speaker count these days?
6.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
that he
yeah.
owns, but he rents the other 6. So when
Yeah, it's
you make shit happen, dude. That's what it sounds like. You make shit
yeah,
happen, and when you see something, you're like, I don't know if he's going to use me for this Boston race. You went there and you said, I want to do this. And anyone who's in a position like what John's in, when they hear that, they're like, that's the guy I want.
Well, and I think that credits, I mean, when I work for myself because I wanted to have, but John's been my biggest client and my longest client, and I work for him because he exactly the guy that you see at the races is the guy he is behind the scenes,
Mm,
and he takes care of all his guys more than any employer should, honestly, sometimes. And that's why I have the drive to do more for him than the average person would, in my position.
Love that.
Just because when you get that kind of support and love, the way that we get, I mean, you want to do whatever you can for this guy to make, you know, like we say his events, right? But it takes a team,
Oh
and he'll
yeah.
always say that, right? He'll never say that it's because of him. It's because of the 20 people that are working it.
Yeah.
But because the way he is, it drives me to work harder. To make, so
I love it. Oh,
you know,
dude,
you
it's
know, just
awesome. I love this. Thank you so much for
yeah.
reaching out to
Thank
me,
you.
dude. This
No,
is
it's
so fun for me. I don't know about
thank you.
Erica, but I had a blast talking to
No,
you.
this was a blast. I love
Love
seeing
it.
the different sides of things. Like we can only see the side that we're on because we're running and you're playing music
Sure.
and it's great. We're loving it. But knowing how much you put into it to make these events special, I mean, it makes me appreciate it so much more.
And hey,
Awesome.
real quick, I know we only got a couple minutes left here, but you did start a podcast a while ago as I was doing my
Yeah.
homework. But you also just had an episode about a month ago with Margarita. Tell us about behind the scenes. Is this going to keep happening, or what do we have to do to help you make this happen?
So it's one of those things where I always was taught that you should have many branches of your business
Mm,
or many branches of marketing, right? It was, don't ever put all your eggs into one basket. So the DJing thing, thing took off. The sound company side took off. And then, I had what really encouraged me to start the podcast was I had been on some podcasts where they had free ask questions. And even like when I came up with you guys, I was like, that's not what I do. And, that's not how I like it. And I had done enough of those where I'm like, you know what? Maybe I could like do my own thing. And the whole behind the scenes thing, as much as you guys love me talking about it, I love hearing it myself. So I was like, well, let's do a podcast that, I'll have Margarita come on and people think, oh, you just go run a marathon. That's not how it goes. So, I am just, I like to think of myself of like as like a sponge. I just love to soak in info. And, that's how that started with just the curiosity of, and, I don't have just runners on, I think I'm 5 episodes in now. So, I kind of have everybody or anybody that I think is interesting and has something interesting going on, and that people would want to hear the behind the scenes of it. So it's a very simple name, but it's
Well, that's how you sold this when you reached out to me. I forget if it was an email or a DM, but you reached out and said, you said, I am the only non-runner at Millennium Running, and I would love to tell you about everything I do behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So I was like, yes, I want that.
Thank you.
That is a really good concept. I think that's so cool. Like you could get any number of people on, like somebody who has a really cool job or has a really cool hobby, just something that you can see what it takes to work up to that one point.
Yeah, like I just had Miss Portsmouth on, who does the Miss New Hampshire pageants, and that's like like we sat for 45 minutes, and like I never knew what went into that, and like and it was interesting to just hear that whole journey for them. So I mean, it's more selfishly for me just to soak up new info that I can go to people and be like, guess what I heard today?
True.
I love that. Do it for you, man. Do what you want to do. That's so sick.
Well, and like that's what's nice is that I'm having the most fun I've ever had doing all this. So, I just keep doing things that I personally enjoy, and then I hope by doing it, other people enjoy as well. And that's kind of how I'm gonna roll with all this.
Excellent.
That's awesome. I think that's the best way to end this one. You're doing something amazing that you love and makes you happy, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for doing this. Thank you so much for reaching out to us, man.
No, thank you guys. I have absolute pleasure, and I'm glad I was able to give some insight. And people will hear this and know a little more behind the scenes, and that's great. So I love it.
Darren, before we let you go, where can people find you if they're looking for some awesome DJ services?
Yeah, so fortunately, DJ Darren Roy across the board for everything. I was able to get everything. So my website, my Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff.
Perfect. Makes it easy.
I'll share it in the show notes, guys, too, so you can find it easy. Like that was freaking amazing, guys.
Thank you.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did, and Erika, and that was so cool. Darren, the next Millennium race I'm at, I'm going to come find you and Jamie and officially introduce myself in person. This was wicked awesome. Thank you for doing this, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. DJ Darren Roy on the On the Runs podcast.
Heck yeah.
Hell yes. Darren, you are the total man. I think you are so awesome. And we really do appreciate everything you do at all of the Millennium races because you are the guy who controls the music. And that's the whole vibe of the races, man.
Yeah.
You do it right.
That was
he does
such
it right.
a cool time talking to him and hearing all those behind the scenes things. Like that was awesome. So freaking cool.
And he is like the epitome of manifesting. He just went out there and got what he wanted.
Right.
That is what you do,
The story
people.
about the race coming up in a couple days, the first one, 2-3 years ago, he went to Johnny, says, what are you going to do? What are you? I want to do it. All right, you're doing it.
That's getting it done.
Dude.
Yep,
Dude
manifesting.
I love the whole story about how he started and everything. So that was so cool. I love that we can talk to people like him or like a Jamie Staten and get the stories behind the scenes of running events and races and race directing. Like it's not just about runners out there crapping themselves code brown, We do it all. We do it all.
There's code browns to every side of the running.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's really cool as a runner to see the other side of things. Like that's not something we normally think about. So it's really cool to be on the other side of the fence.
That was super cool. I'm so happy we did that. We got more cool things like that coming up in the future too, and we're open to talking to anyone who works or does things in the running community. One of those people we're going to hear from in about a month or two. And I mentioned earlier, the intro and the outro, the Tros, are brought to you by My Race Tats. But I'm going to tease our second sponsor from now into the New York City Marathon because they've stepped up to the plate, just like My Race Tats. We're making donations towards our fundraising. And also, they're going to supply an affiliate link where when you guys go buy their product, a portion of their sale, 15% actually for both, are going towards our fundraising efforts. I want to thank Right Sock. That's WRIGHT. Right Socks for stepping up to the plate. They sent us some socks about 2-3 months ago. Actually, I think it was in January because I remember we were recording with Bex with an X at your house when the socks came in.
Yep, it was a morning. It was a very chilly morning.
Yes.
And I remember running downstairs. You had your eye problem.
Yes.
I was taking a picture of your eye. I got to say, I love those Right Socks. I mean, I have multiple affiliations with sock companies, but I wore my Right Socks today, actually, for my long run. And they kept my feet just fine. No blisters. Chef's kiss.
So we're going to have some people on later, just like we did with Dawn, and they're going to tell you all about the socks. And,
that's perfect.
Will he make only feet jokes during the episode? I don't know. We'll find
Probably.
out. But the
Knowing us,
big thing about their socks is, one, they're family owned, but two, they're double layered and the layers work against each other. So they guarantee no blistering. And I can
attest to that.
Right. I have a couple pairs. You have a couple pairs. They are donating socks for the big raffle night on August 2nd.
I love it.
Yeah. So you're going to miss out on that raffle night. You could. No, you know, I don't.
I'm just going to pay Tara to put my name in some baskets.
Oh, you could do that, actually. You could do that.
Oh, yeah.
So, hey, thank you to Right Socks and thank you to My Race Tats. And hopefully soon, one or two more are going to be stepping up to the plate. But it's super cool. We are bringing on some brands, some sponsors, 160 plus episodes into this, and we're learning how to do the whole sponsorship and partnership game. And I think we're doing it the right way by practicing this way, where their money actually goes towards our fundraising. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes, I approve. Seal of approval over here.
Now, we talked about the race coming up on Monday. Darren's going to be there. Millennium's putting on the Run to Remember.
I think it's Sunday.
It's Sunday. Well,
yes.
I think of Monday because it's Memorial Day weekend. But you and I will not be there because we're going to be away, not together. So tell me, where are you going?
I'm going to Myrtle Beach, y'all. I'm going to visit my parents and besides doing some running down there, I'm going to be relaxing and hopefully enjoying some nice warm weather because you know me, I love the warm weather.
Are you going to take your microphone down there?
No. I will have headphones though, so we could still do a recording.
We'll have to figure it out because I'm on Monday. Yesterday, for those of you who are listening, I am flying to Minnesota. And I'll be in Minnesota Tuesday, and I come back Wednesday. And then Thursday, I'm leaving to go camping until Monday, Memorial Day.
Oh, my God, you're a busy dude. Yeah. Where are you camping?
Up north in the mountains where there's no cell service. We are going to be off the grid. It's going to be great.
Gotcha.
Hopefully near
Well,
some
if you
water.
have no cell service, then why don't I have to bring my mic? We'll just do something.
Because I can take a trip to Starbucks, and I can record in Starbucks. How do you think everyone in Starbucks will like me in Lincoln, New Hampshire? What's up, everybody?
I would crack up. I will make sure to if you want to do that, I will be there.
Here's what I'm thinking. We're just going to make this announcement right now. No pressure on us. The next episode 169 of the On the Runs podcast, will be on Wednesday next week.
Sure. Okay.
We'll record the Tros on Tuesday. We'll talk all about Memorial Day, your trip and it. Oh, wait, what time do you land on Tuesday?
10:45 p.m.
What?
I could do it from my house or from my parents' house before I head to the airport.
What time do you leave to the airport?
My flight? You know what? I might as well check this out. My flight is maybe at 6 o'clock, but I have a layover. Oh, I have a layover in Baltimore?
Wouldn't that be fun?
Where the hell am I going?
Wait, what? I thought you were flying direct to Myrtle Beach on Alvilo or something.
Yes, that is my first flight, but they only fly on certain days of the
Oh.
week, not the day I'm coming home.
Wow.
So I am going to Manchester, but my flight home has a layover.
Guys, we don't know when our next episode's going to be. Maybe we'll do like a
We'll make it work.
spontaneous AMA if we could record it like Wednesday night and drop it Tuesday. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yeah, you know what, guys? Pay attention to Instagram for an AMA that I'll put out Tuesday night, and maybe Eric and I do it on Wednesday night before we all leave because some business, some vacation. Isn't it somebody's birthday?
My birthday? What?
No,
Sorry, I
that
wasn't
was your
paying-
dad's birthday.
Oh, my dad's birthday.
Pay
Yeah, it's on
attention.
Monday.
We're recording a
And
podcast.
Tara Pterodactyl's birthday is this weekend, along with Steve. Who else's birthday? My boss has the same birthday as Tara and Steve. Yeah, it's a busy weekend.
Yeah.
Busy weekend all around.
I don't know when the next episode will be out. Probably Tuesday or Wednesday.
We'll
We'll
figure
see.
it out.
Erica's schedule. She didn't ask for this PTO. And by the way, this PTO is not called paid time off because we don't make any money. It's called podcast time off. But hey, so
well, thank you for being so flexible.
Hey, so our friend Ryan Van Duzer, did you see he put out a documentary?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it was so good.
What's it about?
It's about him.
Tell me more. When? Where?
YouTube.
How?
He's
Okay.
a YouTuber. Do you know who Ryan Van Duzer is?
Of course, but I'm just making sure to like, is it a biking documentary or just him, like his life?
Yes.
Like, I want to know more.
Yes, it's all about him. It's like 45 minutes long. It was great. I watched it. It was
I'll watch it.
fantastic. You should download it for your flight. It was really
Can I
good.
do that?
I mean, he's a great filmmaker already, great YouTuber. He makes some cinematic stuff, like his trips. Everything's just it's so good. But he made a documentary about himself, and it was really cool. You learned a little bit about, there's a lot of, I don't want to give it away, but there was a lot of big moments where he's like, yes, I just had my big moment and I'm going to make it. And then doesn't happen. And there's multiple of those. And you should check it out.
That's life.
It was fantastic.
So it's, yes, a true look into a Doozer's life.
Yeah.
I love it.
Speaking of YouTube, you know who I saw on YouTube?
No.
Us.
Wait, what?
Yes.
What are we doing on
We're
YouTube?
on the Boston Marathon
besides your thing?
broadcast.
Dude,
Yes.
what?
Yes.
You know what? Speaking of that, I want to hear more about this, which is wicked cool. But we saw that iFit trainer. I think what was his name? Casey? Was it Casey? Casey Gilbert.
Mhm.
Did we end up? All right. If anybody has iFit, can you let us know if we made it into
Didn't the camera pan to
the
us?
recap? Yes,
that's
it
right. Because
absolutely
he's
did.
running and we said something, and the cameraman who was running with like backwards with the camera or something,
Mhm.
he panned to us. Yeah.
He did. Yeah. Yeah. Because we were like, yeah, iFit. And like,
Yes.
because he had it on his shirt. So I had looked and we were trying to figure out who it was. And I did some digging and I'm like, this is the guy. And I sent you his profile. He's got like a whole reel about it. And so I'm super cool. Like, I'm super excited to see if we end up in that. So if anybody has it, you got to let us know.
Mhm.
But all right, tell me more about the Boston Marathon.
It just popped up
Hang
on my
on that.
YouTube feed. Like, here, watch this.
Yeah?
And I fast forwarded right to when the leaders were at mile 19.2, and you can see us. And it was great
so
that I
cool.
was wearing my On the Runs shirt because it really stuck out, and our On the Runs
Mhm.
banner really stuck out. And it pains me to say this, but it really helped that you were also wearing your yellow shirt. You could easily
Miss
make
over
out.
here who doesn't wear any OTR blue, and here
You don't
I am
wear
wearing
any
like bright
OTR,
freaking
whatever
yellow.
the color is.
That's not true. I love that sweatshirt we have. I am obsessed
Yeah.
with that. But it was at the time it was too warm for that sweatshirt. Oh, but hey,
We're
I
on
gotta wear
TV.
the Boston.
We were.
That's cool. That is so cool.
Even though we're in the distance, we were easily noticeable. It was pretty great. And then
Damn, that's
looking at
awesome.
the rest of my notes that I contributed to, show notes as we call them, I had a movie theater mistake.
A movie for what movie?
So it's been
What'd you
been
see?
raining a lot lately. And what do you do when it rains?
See a movie?
Go see a movie, right? So Adeline and I
What'd
went
you
to see
see?
a movie. I promise you, I selected the Hooks at movie theaters. I Googled the Hooks at movie theaters. It's like Apple Cinemas, Hooks It, whatever. And I don't know why, but when I clicked, like it even says hooks it. When I clicked like show times, apparently it shows Merrimack first.
Oh no.
So I bought I bought movie tickets.
Okay.
We go to the movies, Adeline and I. We saw Thunderbolts or Thunder something.
Oh,
and
the Marvel movie.
We go to the little scan your QR code. Doesn't recognize it. Swipe your card to find it. Doesn't recognize it.
Oh no.
I'm like, what's going on? And then I realized, like a little bit of looking, here's my email, shows the tickets. Wrong movie theater.
No.
So I had all intentions to go to Hooksett. I went to Hooksett. I had no clue I bought movie tickets for Merrimack.
So what happened? Did you?
So I waited in a
you get
long
screwed,
line
or,
where
like-
you wait to get like your stuff. They had one person working, right?
Oh.
And
Yeah.
get to the line. She goes, "Oh, I can refund you. It will take a couple of days, and then you can buy tickets right now through me for the movie, which was starting conveniently in another 20 minutes."
Oh, okay.
Right? So she had to take a picture of the receipt on my phone with the QR code. She goes, "I'll have to do it later." So I haven't gone back to see if I actually got refunded, but I'm kind of skeptical. I don't probably lost out on like $35 there, which $35 for 2 movie tickets, by the way.
Yeah.
Used to be $8 when we were kids. It was like $17.50 a ticket or whatever.
I don't go to the movies anymore. Well, I mean, they have made movie theaters a lot nicer. Like you get those awesome chairs. They all
fantastic.
recline.
It is.
Yeah, they're way nicer.
It is so.
And
I forget how nice it is when I go. I'm like, why don't we do this more? Oh yeah, because it's a lot of freaking money.
You can't afford to take like your whole family. Plus snacks. You got to add snacks on top of that.
Big bucket of popcorn, huge fountain drink. Enough that you can go. You got to get the one with free refills, like, and then you make it worth it.
Oh,
in fact, the last time we went to the movies before this, we went on Thanksgiving because it was downpouring on Thanksgiving. Or maybe it was Thanksgiving Eve. I think it was Thanksgiving Eve.
Okay.
And we went to the movies in the morning, or in the early afternoon. We saw Moana, so we got the huge cup and the huge popcorn, right, with free refills.
Yep.
So then Ashley and Adeline went back to the same movie theater that night to see Wicked, and they brought the same bucket, and they just filled it up again and again and again. And by the way, the bucket's downstairs in my kitchen because it's our popcorn
saving
bucket.
some money.
It was like a metal Moana
awesome.
2 one. It was great.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I haven't been to a movie in a long time. I think the last one I went to see was it Deadpool and Wolverine? I think that was the last time.
You know, I watched
been
the
out for a
first 2 Deadpools when Deadpool and Wolverine came out on Disney Plus. I watched the first 2, and I thought it was awesome. I really did. I was like, wow, those were good movies. I loved them. Ashley was like, not her thing, right? So I watched those movies, and I was like, okay, amazing. This Deadpool Wolverine movie, it's going to be even more amazing. Wrong.
Did you not like it?
I didn't think it was good. I thought it was.
Oh, I liked it.
I thought they tried.
It had a bunch of like Easter eggs in it. But
yeah, no,
I am
they
a
totally
big Ryan
did.
Reynolds fan.
They totally did. And I'll be honest, I don't know her name, but I kind of fell in love with Deadpool's girlfriend in the first 2.
Oh, Marina
Oh
Becker.
my God.
Oh
Do you
my
know
God,
who she's
she is
married to?
Yeah, Ben McKenzie.
Yes, from the
who
OC.
was like yes, dude, you don't have to tell me. Even though I was a Seth Cohen fan, I definitely appreciated the Ryan Atwood. Trust me.
I like Summer.
He was eye candy.
Actually, I liked
Summer.
in one of the first seasons, the girl with the short hair. I thought she was great. And she was also in Entourage. She was great. But
wait, which one is that?
I don't know names. I don't know names like you. But
You're not talking Misha Barton, are
but
you? No.
No.
She was in Entourage.
Anyways, no, I did not like.
Anywho.
I did not like Misha Barton. Whatever.
No, who's the one with the short hair?
Hold
Who
on.
are you talking about?
Hold on.
She was in the OC though. I should know
Yeah,
that.
she was in the OC. Like she was
See, I've seen the OC many times. It's Entourage that I haven't seen.
Oh my God.
that many
Entourage is
times.
one of the only shows I've watched 2 seasons of. Like, no, sorry. I watched the entire thing in 2 different sittings.
Oh.
I actually tried to watch the OC like 10 years ago. I remember we tried to do it. We did like the first season, and that was about
Only
it.
4 seasons, man. Come
I
on.
know it's not.
But
Yeah.
that I've got a special place in my heart for that because it's all puka shells and surfer boys, and like I was totally into that culture back in like college. It was great. Did you know?
Hold on.
What's his face?
Hold on.
Chris Carmack though. He's on Grey's Anatomy now, and I don't hate that.
Don't know who that is.
He is.
Samarie Armstrong.
He plays Luke. Samare. I think it's Samare. Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about. She played Anna.
Yes.
Seth Cohen's like friend / almost love interest.
Yeah. Super cute.
Okay.
Super cute. Yeah. Wait. I thought she liked Ryan though. She like Seth Cohen?
Nah,
liked her?
she was. Well, she liked Seth. She showed up at. I don't. Oh my God! Watch the show. Go watch the show. Going back to Ryan Reynolds though, I started watching Welcome to Wrexham, like the soccer or football thing. And that is super, super interesting. I'm already in like season 3. I love that show. And that like a new season just dropped, so we're catching up.
All right.
Totally recommend.
God,
it's good.
I used to watch TV. I don't do it ever anymore.
Hey, we don't watch live TV. We just stream. Brandon and I pick a show. Well, I honestly though, we don't ever work our way through the whole thing. Like we started watching The Bear and then like it stopped for whatever new season. We never picked up the new season.
Did
we'll
you watch
like part of it?
Did you watch him in Shameless, the guy from The Bear? Have you ever watched Shameless?
Yeah, I did. We did finish Shameless. And that is one, as good as it was, I don't think I could go through that again. Like, I don't think I can watch that show again.
Yeah, maybe.
Frank is awful.
Maybe, but wait, what was awful?
Frank.
Oh, God. But
Fucking Frank,
that's
man.
probably my all-time favorite show, Shameless.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's second to ER.
Oh, dang.
And I have HBO Plus, which is not HBO Plus. It's called Max. And I have it.
Max.
Thank you to my amazing sister for getting me HBO Max. There's a new show on there I have yet to check out. It's called The Pit. And it's produced by the producers of ER. It has Noah Wyle, who is Carter from ER. And it's basically an ER show. I can't wait to see it.
I have heard that exact thing, that if you like ER, you're going to love this show.
Actually, maybe for my trip, I'll watch it on the airplane. I'll download an episode or two.
I do enjoy doctor shows. I'm still into Grey's Anatomy, like we were talking about earlier.
Grey's Anatomy's not a doctor show, though. That's like a love romantic drama.
But it was a doctor show for a little bit. No, so that's what sucks you in. But then, what did I watch? Oh my God. I'm not going to remember the name of it, but it had to do with like a New York hospital. Oh, I'm so sad I can't remember the name of it. But anyways, I watched that. And then I never watched ER though. Actually, that's not true. I watched it when it was coming out because my mom used to watch it. And I just know about the part about the guy in the helicopter blade. You know what I'm talking about?
Romano. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like
Anthony
the most
Edwards. That's him, right?
Doctor of all doctors. And
yeah,
he almost dies. A helicopter takes his arm off. Do you know the whole story?
I don't know, but I remember that scene like vividly.
Okay. So
I
there's
don't
two
remember
helicopter
what led up
scenes,
to
right?
it.
So the helicopter takes his arm off. And
yes,
he goes like a season or two where he has this arm and he's even more of an asshole now because it's a fake arm and it won't work and everything. And he has like PTSD about helicopters. He can never go on the helicopter, like rooftop anymore. And the last season, I'm not spoiling this for anyone because it was like 1999. Okay, guys. His last episode, he has a panic attack on the roof when he sees the helicopter. And so he goes downstairs and outside trying to catch his breath. And the helicopter crashes. And the last scene is him looking up at the sky and the helicopter lands on him. And so...
Are you shitting me?
No. So everyone in the hospital's like, you know, critical, like trauma and everything. And they're like, where's Romano? Where's Romano? Like, we need more people on staff. And they find out later, like, he's under the helicopter, dead.
God, what a way to go. Oh, no. Oh, no. That's the worst time to use that, but the funniest. Oh, God. Jesus, dude.
The best show ever, ER.
R.I.P. Romano.
ER. I legit watched, like, they did this years ago during COVID. Remember when everyone was doing Zooms? Yes. One of the actresses in ER, she has some foundation, and she said, like, hey, to help raise money for my foundation, I'm going to do a Zoom with all the cast of ER. and it's on
Yeah.
YouTube. I watched it. It was fantastic. Like they got George Clooney on it. Like that was a big deal. He was doing it from Paris. It was like 3 a.m. Anthony Edwards, Dr. Green, of course, Carol Hathaway, Peter Benton came on. His real name is Eric with a Q, Eriq. That is acceptable, by the way. Eric with a K, not cool. Eric with a C is the way, but Eric with a Q is pretty cool. They had some really that was a big deal. They got Luka Kovic back on. God, they had so many cool people on that. I watched this. It was like 2 hours long. I kind of watched it in the background, I'll be honest, but like I listened. It was like a podcast. I was listening. It was so cool.
I had to look up what the name of the doctor show that I watched. So besides Scrubs, I forgot about Scrubs. I fucking love Scrubs. The first 8 seasons, at least. New Amsterdam. Did anybody watch that? I loved that show. And I think it got canceled, and then it was only on Peacock, and I didn't have it for the longest time, so I just kind of like stopped watching, but it was a good show.
Yeah, ER is amazing. The OC, that's classic. I love seeing these things here. Entourage, amazing. Shameless, the best. But when we record at your house, you have like a huge stack of DVDs. Not just DVDs, but like box sets. Tell me about some of the box sets you have.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, back in the day when we didn't have streaming, that's how we had to watch shit.
Yeah.
So I literally have all the Boy Meets Worlds. I have all the Entourage.
I had all the ER ones for a while.
I mean, I've got Scrubs. God, what else? Honestly, those were the big ones I used to watch. There's a random one that I loved on, I think it was like Freeform or whatever, like that used to be. It was called Greek. I loved that show. That was just like college drama. Came out right when we were like almost in college or like just out of college, one of those. Oh man, I'd have to check it out again. But yeah, I've got quite the collection, and this was all before streaming happened. And of course, now you don't need any of those because everything you can find somewhere.
Well, I think it would be fun if we can find a show. Guys, throw some suggestions. What's an awesome show? Like, should we all watch The Pit on HBO Max? Should we all watch like Shameless again? Or a show like that has like some good storylines that we can talk about on the podcast, and we all follow it together. It's like, okay, this week we're watching episode 1. That next week we're watching episode 2. And we talk about it like a little fun little segment. This is also like totally random and off the cuff. We did not play this.
I should make you watch The Office.
I wanted to say like The Office would be great, but I don't think The Office will really have the storylines.
Oh, true. Well, it doesn't.
Like Shameless has so many storylines.
That's so confusing. Do you remember Jimmy Steve? Jimmy Steve.
Yeah. No, dude, yes. Because he was dating Fiona, and then he was like somebody else, and he made a ton of money. Where did you get all this money? Well, apparently he was selling feet pics, probably. Well, we could do Orange is the New Black because they were selling underwear in that one. That's only 5 seasons, maybe 6.
All right, let's pick something. We can get some suggestions for HBO Max because we
do you have Max?
Have access to that as well.
Okay,
yes,
so we need something that's on Max. Let's just do The Pit.
I would love to do The Pit.
Perfect. It's a new show. Nobody's ever seen it. Sorry, there might be some spoilers, but guys, go get Max. All right, maybe Hannah could Max sponsor the podcast and like make a donation, and maybe and all the listeners can get a discount on Max. What do you say, Hannah?
First month is half off.
Yeah, come on, Hannah, make it happen. Let's do The Pit. This is super cool.
Yeah.
I'm wicked excited. So how about, do we watch it episode 1 this week and talk about it next week? Or should we do the first 2 episodes? Like, I'm on a plane, you're on a plane, you could watch one each flight?
I don't have download abilities because it is not my account. Oh. It's Brandon's brother's. So I can have access to it on 2 of the TVs in my house.
Let's do The Pit, though. Let's
start with the first episode, and then we'll see how it goes from there. I will watch it before we talk.
It looks so good. 15 episodes, 15 hours, 1 shift. Oh,
that's it so far.
Oh, so maybe the entire season is 1 shift.
Ah, interesting.
That's so cool.
Okay.
That was one of the seasons in Orange is the New Black was one day.
Wow.
Yeah.
I actually have not seen that show. That's a lie. I've seen maybe like 2 seasons, 1.5 seasons. I forget why I stopped watching it.
This looks really
I don't know.
cool.
But hey,
So for the
got
next
it.
15 weeks, we got something on the show notes and some homework for you. Are you going to do it?
there we go.
Are you going to?
Yeah, give me TV homework. But also, I still have that Dale Earnhardt documentary to watch. So that's
Well, that comes
also
out
homework.
on the
I can watch that on the
22nd.
plane.
You got a couple days. That's we'll
Okay.
talk about that when it's all done.
Okay.
Yeah. But this is
Perfect.
super cool. I'm super excited.
And then I also have to watch the Doozer documentary.
Yeah, you got a lot of
I got my work cut
Well,
out for
listen.
me, you guys. Should we start doing like 4 burps an episode, like the recap? Maybe 2 for us because I'm not the burper.
I can't burp. Like,
You
did
are.
you see how weak my
Yeah, you
burp was
can.
there?
It still counts.
Listen,
I don't know.
I don't know when our next episode's going to be out. Well, the problem is it might be a pre-recorded episode because we're both gone. So we will watch one episode this week. If we don't talk about it next week because of how we record, we'll watch the second episode and we'll talk about both in 2 weeks.
Perfect.
This would be so cool. So cool.
I hope you guys are interested in
Yeah.
this because it's happening.
Yeah, it is happening. All right. So, hey,
I'm
guys.
totally down for this.
Thank you so much. Don't forget, like, follow, subscribe, Instagram, YouTube, Threads, Spotify. On Spotify, leave a comment. Give us a rating wherever you listen to these podcasts. Thank you so much. If you really love us and you want to support us, you can, 1, donate to our own fundraising links. They're in the show notes. Erica's running Chicago. I'm running New York. Go buy yourself some My Race tats. And in a week or 2, you can go buy yourself some Right socks. And 15% of what you spend goes towards our fundraising. The other way you can do it, join the Patreon page. I am dropping a new jibber jabber that we just recorded when our guest was a little late and we made a phone call on that jibber jabber. So check it out. Follow us on Instagram. $4, $9, or be like Ron Kuzmar, because what did he do, Erica?
$5.
$5. Apparently you can do a
I was
custom.
like, I forget. Hey, do whatever you want.
You guys are kick-ass. We got 168 days to the New York City Marathon and 147 days to the Chicago Marathon. This summer's going to be kick-ass. Erica, enjoy your time at Myrtle Beach.
Thank you. Enjoy your time camping. I hope you have wonderful weather up here. I have no idea what it's going to be like, but I hope it's nice camping weather.
Me too. Take us home.
Everybody, I hope you have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Thank you for listening. You know we love you.
Happy birthday, Dawn! And don't fear the code brown.
And don't forget to stretch.
Wanna